What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Johnny K Picks. And in this video, I'll be going over my full card picks and predictions, along with the bets that I'm looking at so far for UFC Vegas 86 Hermansson versus Pyfer. Now, first things first, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, or if you just haven't yet, click on those notifications so you don't miss out when I put out my videos or any of our live streams like that. And please leave some comments below. It definitely helps out the videos and the algorithm with YouTube, all that crazy stuff. And hey, I got a Patreon, as you probably already know. It's up there, up there in the up there and above. Patreon.com/JohnnyKpicks. I put out my soccer bets, any NBA bets, any NFL bets, definitely my UFC stuff, UFC spreadsheets for time props, and all my best bets for every fight, sprinkles, parlay pieces, single bets, all that stuff. So it's worth it. $5.99 a month. Check it out. If you don't like it, no big deal. And yeah, so last night was another crazy card. A lot of interesting outcomes and all that good stuff. Let's run that back and check it out, because I like to do my little reactions, as everybody probably knows and sees on Twitter and Instagram. First things first, Thomas Jefferson, aka Thomas Peterson, loses his third term. So he definitely lost against Pogues. Didn't look good, looked a little sloppy. That whole fight was sloppy, let's be honest. Pogues got it done. I mean, he stopped the takedowns in the second and third rounds, and Peterson was tired, couldn't get him down. So good win from him. Medeiros squeaks out a unanimous decision win. I'll be honest, I bet Medeiros. I picked Medeiros. I kind of thought Quinones won, but it was a close fight. Not to say that it was a robbery, but I did think he did just enough to win. Judges thought otherwise. Again, like I said, some crazy outcomes, crazy scorecards. Lee passed the UFC test for me. I was a little down on Lee. I wanted to see a little bit more from him in this fight. That's why I didn't bet this one, but he clearly passed it, and I'll be looking at him for the next fight he is in. Themba with the nasty KO inspired by The Rock. Great knockout from him. If there was going to be a knockout, I definitely thought it was going to be on the Pete Rodrigues side. He got it done early in like 30 seconds. Good win from him. I guess Charles Johnson keeps his UFC job, because I thought Azat won that fight, and I thought he won rounds 1 and 2, and it was close. Again, not to say that it was a robbery, but I had Charles Johnson winning round 3 for sure, but round 2 was very close. I just thought Maxim won that fight. Good win from him. Molly's new weight class might be 115. It might be. But then again, she destroyed Diana Belbita, guys. So we will see on her next fight, because I remember someone dominating when they came down to 125 and they got lit up on the feet. Oh, I passed that fight. Whoops, I missed it. Luana, that's who I'm talking about, because Stoliarenko went down to 125 and destroyed Molly McCann. Luana is a junkyard dog. She survived the first round. She survived all of the crazy grappling situations, and she got the third round knockout when Stoliarenko was gassed in the third. So I know I skipped that, but that's who I was talking about when Molly went down and beat Belbita. But I want to see more from Molly. I saw enough from Stoliarenko. I wasn't impressed. I'll be fading her. Next time, the next fight, is I knew Urbina was in trouble after I heard Firestarter from Prodigy. Yep. I just wasn't super confident in Urbina. I still picked him, though, because I wasn't more confident in Radke, but Radke showed me more now, so it is what it is, and that's another crazy one. Eye pokes are the worst. Yep. Eye poke, 10 seconds, next fight. Natalia Silva is so good. That is all. I like Natalia Silva a lot. I like her striking. She's super quick on the feet, and she's going to be a problem. Good takedown defense, too. Randy was super rude to Salikov. Crazy. Didn't see that knockout come in. Actually, I thought there would be a finish, it'd be like in the second or third round when Salikov kind of gasses a little. Didn't make it that far. Why, Dober? Why did you do that in the third round? But Moicano's speech was hilarious. Now, I had Dober as a pick. I had him as a bet. He lost the first round. I thought he won the second round. The third round was up for grabs. I thought the momentum was all on his side until he tried to do that crazy hip or crazy toss again, like he did in the second round. Made a mistake, and he lost. So it is what it is. That's the UFC for you. Mavov was the better striker, but 47-47. Another crazy scorecard for the judges, but I thought Mavov won probably 4 out of the 5 rounds. So like I said on my breakdowns and the live streams, I just thought Amava was going to be the better striker and it was going to play out on the feet for the majority of the time and throw more volume, and he did. So good win from him, and we'll see what happens moving forward. But here are my bets from last night. I went 3-3 on my bets. I lost the Dober one. I had a little sprinkle on Stoliarenko first round submission only because it was plus 425. And that was crazy because if she was going to win, it was going to be by first round submission. And then I also lost my time prop parlay that I like to do each week. Brown won in the first round, but knockout. And then for some reason, Moicano and Dober went the distance. I didn't see that happening, but I did hit the over 2.5 with the Charles Johnson fight. Brown money line. I also have Amavov and Silva parlay. And then I also won the Medeiros fight, which, like I said, very close fight. So I might have got lucky with that one. Plus 0.88 units profit. I will take it because this card was insane and a lot of craziness happened again. So we've had 3 cards this year so far. All of them have been crazy outcomes, a lot of them. And a lot of people have not been doing well this year. Last year, I was in that same boat. Like right now, I'm not saying I'm doing amazing, but I was worse last year because the first 2 months of the year last year was insane. But for my picks, I ended up going 7-5-1 because of no contest. So not the greatest on the picks either. I avoided a lot of the landmines. Let's put it that way. So we're on to next week. And what is next week? It is, or this week, I should say, Hermansson versus Pyfer. We have 14 fights. That's a lot. So let's get to it. We got Daniel Marcos versus Aoriqileng. And Marcos is a solid striker. He's got good boxing. He's got some power in his hands. Good takedown defense. Pretty good cardio. In his last fight against Davy Grant, I still to this day will say he did not win that fight, but he didn't get knocked out by Davy Grant, so he's durable. So we know that. Aoriqileng, solid striker himself. He throws a lot of volume. He likes to push forward. Takedown defense isn't amazing. He can be controlled if taken down, but I do think this fight will take place on the mat, and he can be a little hittable. He can get rocked by big punches and just with his style, but he has the power. So this is gonna be a pretty good fight. It's gonna be on the feet, like I said, majority, but I'm gonna go with Marcos. I like his durability. I think he'll be able to land more on the feet, but Kiori has the power advantage. So we'll see what happens. It's volume versus power, but I'm gonna go with Marcos. I just think he's got the better technical striking, if you want to say, and Kiori just has the power. And I think he can get rocked maybe here or just hit up too many times and lose a decision. So I'm going to go with Marcos by decision, but would it completely shock me if Aoriqileng gets this one? No. But I still have some red flags with Aoriqileng, so maybe I just back Marcos just a little bit more in this fight, but I think he gets it done. Next one's going to be Hyder Amil versus Fernie Garcia. So Amil's making his UFC debut. He's a solid striker. He's got good power in his hands. He likes to push forward. He's durable. He can mix in some wrestling, but he's mainly going to keep it on the feet, though. He's going to want to strike. He can be a little low volume, too, as well, looking for that power shot, but he's durable, like I said, and he's strong. Garcia, super short notice, taking this fight on super short notice. Solid striker himself. He's well-rounded, actually. He's got good grappling. Takedown defense isn't amazing, but I don't think he's gonna I think this fight's gonna take place on the feet. So he's good. He's durable, pretty good cardio, but on super short notice. So I don't know how the cardio is gonna hold up in this fight. Man, this is a close fight, and I think if this fight was on 2 full camps, if Garcia had a full camp, I probably would pick him, maybe. But I'm just gonna go with Amil to win this one, just because mainly the super short notice. I don't trust Fernie getting this done. I don't think he's going to be able to finish Amil either. I think if there is a finish, it's going to be on his side, not Fernie's side. And I think so. Fernie, to me, has to win a decision, but I just don't know if he's going to be able to win a decision and go like hard enough for 15 minutes to win the minutes with the short notice. So gonna go with Amil here. I'm gonna stay away from betting this fight though. Not touching it. This is a landmine written all over it. So if these are the correct odds, that's crazy to me. But it's dog or pass, whoever you like. Let's put it that way. Whoever's the dog in this fight, that's what you do. Next one's going to be Zach Pauga versus Bogdan Gustav, or Gustav, if I said that wrong. Pauga, solid wrestler. He's very good in the clinch. He pushes his opponents up against the cage a lot. Striking is just okay. He does have some decent power in his hands. He can be a little low volume, but like I said, he's strong. He's durable. He's gonna basically try to push you up against the cage. I mean, he can wrestle too, but we haven't really seen it too much in the UFC. And against good strikers or decent strikers, he can struggle too. Guskov, powerful striker, good takedowns, and ground and pound if he gets the fight to the mat when he's on top. Pretty durable, but in his last fight against Vulcan, he did get rocked and club and subbed, but that was his UFC debut against a very good veteran, so I'll give him a little bit of pass there. Okay cardio. He really hasn't fought the greatest of competition other than Vulcan, and that was a very big step up in competition for him. This is more so his area or level right now, so close fight again. I'm going to go with the underdog here in Bogdan, though. I think he's the better striker. I think he can land some very good shots. What does worry me, though, is if Pauga's able to push him up against the cage early and tire him out, drag this in the later rounds. Maybe Pauga wins a decision or maybe a late knockout if Bogdan gets gassed. But I think the more dangerous guy for sure is Bogdan. I'll take a chance on him at underdog prices. Again, probably not going to bet this fight. This is another landmine fight, but like I said, if in landmine fights, you want to do dog or pass if you want to bet it. But my pick is going to be Guskov just because, like I said, I think he's the more dangerous guy. So we shall see what happens in this one. This is going to be a fun fight here. Jeremiah Wells versus Max Grip. That is not the right fight. I lied. Here we go. Jeremiah Wells versus Max Griffin here. So Jeremiah, well-rounded guy, super explosive striking with huge power in his hands. Good wrestling, very good grappling when he gets the fight to the mat. He's durable. His cardio is pretty good, except in his last fight when I bet him, he got choked out later in the fight, but he was winning that fight until then, basically. He can be a little hittable on the feet as well if he's a little bit too aggressive and he comes in, if he comes into the pocket too much, but durable, solid, well-rounded guy. Another solid, well-rounded guy, Max Griffin, veteran as well. Solid striker, pretty good wrestler and grappler. He does keep it on the feet for the majority of the time, though. Good cardio. He's durable. He's not really amazing at anything, but he's not awful at anything either. So he's kind of like a Neil Magny, if you want to say, but I know Neil Magny beat Max Griffin, but that fight was super close, and I actually thought Max Griffin won. So you can kind of compare him to that. Okay takedown defense. And yeah, this is going to be a fun fight. I'm going to go with the more dangerous guy, and that's definitely Jeremiah Wells. He can knock out Max Griffin. We've seen Griffin get touched up a little bit in his last fight against Michael Morales, though, but he did push through it. He survived. And I also think Jeremiah Wells has a huge grappling advantage here, too, if he gets his fight to the mat, which I do think he can. The only thing that'll scare me is the third round. If it gets there, will Jeremiah start slowing down again? So I'm going to bank on Wells here. I think he gets this one done. I'm going to say by a finish, and I don't know if it's going to be by knockout or if it's going to be by a submission, but give me Jeremiah Wells. I'll say submission, but I'm going to look at the inside the distance prop, see what it looks like. But Jeremiah Wells is the pick for me. Next one's going to be Devin Clark versus Marcin Prachnio. And Devin Clark, we all know who Devin Clark is, especially when his dad is in the corner for him. Solid wrestler. He's got good takedowns, decent power in his hands when he lands. He can be a little low volume on the feet, though. He's not the most technical striker. Pretty durable, solid cardio. He could be a little bit hittable on the feet, though. And his takedown defense isn't all that great, but luckily for him, he's not fighting a strike or a grappler. He's fighting a striker. Prachnio, he's a solid striker too with good power in his hands. Cardio can be a big issue for him though. After one round and a half, he does slow down pretty bad. His takedown defense isn't all that great. His chin can be a little questionable at times. We've seen against Vitor Petrosyan in his last fight. Petrino's not really the grappler and or submission guy, and he submitted Prachnio in the, I believe, second round. So I think Devin Clark can do the same thing, not maybe to the same extent. I think he can get the takedowns. I think he can get his wrestling going. I think he can win the minutes on the mat when he's on top. Ground and pound, he can maybe get a head and arm choke or something like that. But I'm gonna go with Devin Clark here. I just don't trust Prachnio at all. His last win was against William Knight when he only leg kicked, and William Knight threw 2 total punches all fight, and he beat Ike Villanueva and somehow beat Roundtree. But I think, yeah, Devin Clark should win this fight. I'm not going to touch it though, because I can't back Devin Clark with my money, but I can back him with my pick. I think he gets this done. I'm going to say, it's either going to be like a late finish or decision. I'll say decision. Devin Clark's really not the greatest finisher, so give me Devin Clark to win this one by decision. A lot of grappling and control time on the mat. This is going to be a fun one here. Lookboonmee versus Bruna Brasil, and Loma is a great kickboxer, very good Muay Thai, very powerful leg kicks, likes to push forward. She's shown some good wrestling and grappling as of late. She's got good ground and pound, and she's durable. She's a pit bull. She's a junkyard dog. She's one of those girls that's going to fight for your money. She's 28 years old. She can be a little small. She's definitely going to be the smaller girl, but she does not care whatsoever. She's going to march forward and go to town. And Bruna Brasil, very good striker as well. She's got good power in her hands, very good kicks. Takedown defense, though, isn't super great. She does have okay grappling if she is taken down, but she's mainly a striker. She wants to keep it on the feet. And the thing with her is if she's the one pushing forward, she looks amazing. But when she is the one that's being pushed back, she looks awful. It's like night and day. So to me, I'm going with Loma here because Loma's going to be the one that's going to be pushing forward. She's going to be the pit bull here. She's going to get into range. She's going to work her leg kicks and probably mix in some wrestling and grappling here too, which I don't blame her whatsoever. And again, I don't trust Brasil if that happens. And her striking defense too, when she goes back, she keeps her head way up. So it's never a good look when I see that. And I just think Loma's the better fighter at this point in both their careers. I think Loma's improving way more. And I mean, I'm not going to say this is a bad win or bad loss. I'm sorry, Denise Gomes, but I mean, Shauna Bannon. Oof. When you have Elise Reed and she beat Denise Gomes. So MMA math here. Give me Lookboonmee to win. I'm going to say by decision. Loma has got a couple finishes as of late, but I do think it's going to go to decision and Loma should win this fight. Next one's going to be, this thing keeps popping up. Oki versus Hadzovic, Demir. And so Oki is making his UFC debut. He's a very good striker. He throws a ton of volume, good power in his hands, very quick hands, good takedown defense. He can slow down a little bit as the fight goes on, but he's dangerous. He's going to keep the fight on the mat. And we got Demir here. He's been out for a while, about a year and a half, 37 years old now. And he's a decent striker. He's got decent power in his hands. He's kind of a slow striker too. Very low volume, no takedown defense. He's not that great on the mat. He can be hittable. I think this is a setup fight for Oki, and I think he wins this one. I think he gets a finish in the first round, to be honest. I think Demir is, I don't want to say washed, but I think he's done in the UFC. I think he's only here for either one, setup fight for Oki, or two, for a paycheck, or maybe both, because Oki's the better fighter by far, and I think he is a great spot for a parlay piece if you want. I know he's making his UFC debut, and it's a little bit worrisome, but you also have to look at who he's fighting. This guy's wins have come against Yancy Medeiros and Polo Reyes. That's it. So, enough said. Give me Oki to win this one. First round, knockout, I'll say. Next fight's going to be Trevin Giles versus Carlos Prates. And this is going to be in very... Oop, let me get this out of the way. Oh, man. I'm going crazy with this. Sorry, guys. But this fight's going to be pretty interesting, actually. Giles, solid striker. He's got very good jab and straights down the middle. He can wrestle. It's not amazing, but it's not completely awful either. Okay takedown defense. He can be hittable on the feet. As we've seen, he can get rocked. And we've seen him get rocked a lot in his losses, but his wins, he's looked pretty good, except the Kosuke fight was really weird, I'll be honest. And the Parsons fight, he was just picking them apart. Parsons couldn't do anything. Prates making his UFC debut. Very good striker. He's explosive. He keeps his hands a little low. He's one of those guys who likes to like move his hands low and keep them low and like do one of these. It is what it is. Very good kicks. Got the knockout in his Dana White Contender Series fight against Mitch Ramirez. Good win from him. And yeah, I mean, who do I think's the better fighter? This is a close fight. I'm picking Carlos to win this fight, but again, I'm scared that Giles, with his experience, is able to keep this fight standing and like a low volume fight to where he's using his jabs and then just circles the cage. But the more explosive, dynamic striker is definitely Carlos. I think he can touch up Giles as the fight goes on. And I'm going to say he gets him out of there in the second round by knockout. But again, would it completely shock me? No, it wouldn't. So I'm staying away from betting this fight. I want to see Carlos prove to me that he could beat Giles. And then maybe I'll put a bet on him in this next fight. But I'm going to go with him. I think he's just the more dynamic, dangerous striker. Main card now, we got Rodolfo Vieira versus Armen Petrosyan. So this fight was supposed to happen like a million times and a million, maybe not a million times, but a little bit ago. Vieira, we all know who Rodolfo is. Very, very good grappler. Amazing submissions. His takedowns are a little lackluster. They can be a little sloppy. Striking, wild, but can throw heat. Can slow down as the fight goes on. Striking defense isn't all that great, but he is tough. He's durable. We've seen him gas out a little bit, but basically his bread and butter is get this fight to the mat. Petrosyan's bread and butter is keep this fight on the feet because he is a very good kickboxer. He throws a ton of volume, very good kicks. Takedown defense isn't all that great, but he does have a good get-up game. Pretty good submission defense as well. We've seen in the Caio fight and also the Gregory Rodrigues fight. He was able to defend some good submissions. So interesting fight, striker versus grappler. And you know where I usually lie on this. I'm going with the striker. I think he can keep this. I think the first round is going to be a little bit dicey. And I think Vieira is basically kind of like a Juliana Stolyarenko, just not like an armbar specialist. I think he's a first-round grappler or bust. If he doesn't get the submission, I don't think he's going to win a decision more times than not. Petrosyan can definitely win a decision. We've seen it. And he has good cardio, good volume for 3 rounds. So if he does get taken down in the first, all he needs to do is survive. If he survives the first round, I can kind of see the same thing happening just like last week with Luana and Julia. So give me Petrosyan as a slight dog here. I liked him before. I like him now, and I think he gets it done by I'll say by decision. Like I said, Vieira is pretty durable and tough. He sticks it out, and I know he's gonna be a little tired as the fight goes on, but he should win this one. This is going to be a weird one. I'm be honest with you guys right now before I say anything. This is the toughest one for me. Michael Johnson versus Darius Flowers. Now, Johnson, we all know who Johnson is. He's 21-19, guys, and that is scary. He looks great in some fights. He looks awful in some fights. You think he should lose a fight, he wins it. You think he should win a fight, he loses. This guy is the definition of inconsistent, and you cannot pick this guy correct. So, very good boxer, though. He's got good power in his hands, good takedown defense. Not really the greatest wrestler or grappler or anything like that if he does get taken down. But as I said, very questionable moments in some fights. Fight IQ, if you want to say, is a little low. And just a very inconsistent guy. Flowers, aggressive striker with power, good wrestling and takedowns. He likes to push forward. He can be a little wild at times. He can slow down as the fight goes on. We've seen him in his last fight, his UFC debut against Jake Matthews, up a weight class, and he got ragdolled basically and lost. But now he's in the right division. They match up a little bit better with the size. So, oh man, I don't know who to pick. Honestly, I don't even have a pick on my notes because I told myself whatever I feel like in the moment. I feel like Flowers can win this fight. So I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go with Michael Johnson to win because every time I pick Michael Johnson when I think he should win, he loses. And every time that I pick against him, he wins. So I think Flowers can win this fight. So I'm going to pick Michael Johnson to win. I'm going to say by decision because he is getting up there. I just don't think Darius is going to have his moments, but I don't think he's going to have enough of them. And I think Michael Johnson should be able to win the minutes. But he did just get rocked by Diego Vieira, which was a little bit insane to me, but it is what it is. Going with Michael Johnson. See what happens. Next one's going to be Brad Tavares versus Gregory Rodrigues. And this is going to be an interesting one too. Now, we all know who Tavares is. He's been around forever. Solid striker with decent power. Good takedown defense. He can wrestle at times, but doesn't really use it all that much. Good cardio. He could be chinny. He's been knocked out a few times. But before he gets knocked out, though, he takes a ton of like really good shots. So he's not like getting knocked out clean with one shot. It's like an accumulation time, and like in the second or third round, he gets knocked out. But very solid everywhere, not really amazing anywhere, and he's not really the biggest finisher either. Gregory Rodrigues, on the other hand, is a finisher. Very well-rounded as well. He's got powerful striking. He's durable too. He has been knocked out once or twice in his career, but against powerful strikers. He does have good wrestling and grappling if he uses it. He can be a little hittable on at times, and sometimes he initiates in some brawls when he probably shouldn't. So, again, I'm going with the more dangerous guy here, and that's Gregory. I think he's going to be able to land the better shots, the more damaging shots. Is he going to be able to get this fight to the mat? I'm going to say probably not, and he probably should just strike with Brad Tavares because Tavares has very good takedown defense too. So, going with Rodrigues, I'm going to say by decision. I think this fight goes the distance. I think after the first round, it could be a little dicey in the first. It's going to start to slow down a bit, but I do think Rodrigues will land the better shots, do a little bit more damage, and win a decision here. So this is going to be a good fight, but I'm just going to go with RoboCop. Next one's going to be Ior Potieria versus Robert Bryczek. And Potieria, he is taking this fight on super short notice. And he's a solid striker with power. Little wild, not super technical, but when he lands, he does have some power. We saw that in the last fight against Bellado. He pretty much had him dead to rights on the ground. But he didn't get the finish. He gassed himself out. That's what he does. And he doesn't have good cardio. So he's got about one round in him, I think, to win this fight. And if he doesn't win, he's going to lose. And that's just how his UFC career has been. Let's be honest. Bryczek, though, UFC debut. He's got good striking, good boxing, good power in his hands. He can be a little low volume, looking for that KO shot. But when he lands, and he gets the KO. A lot of his KOs have been in the first round. And he's got okay takedown defense. He's going to keep it on the feet. And I think this fight will play out on the feet as well. So, going to go with Robert to win. I can't trust Potieria ever. I don't even care. I bet Bellado. I think I even picked Shogun. Like, I have not picked Eeyore at all in his career. I'm going to stick with it. Going with Robert to win. I'm going to say by knockout in the second round, because that just seems how Potieria loses. So that's the way I think it's going to happen. Shocker, hot take alert. So let's go. Co-main event, Dan Ige versus Andre Fili. This is going to be a striker's delight. And get this out of here. There we go. Dan Ige is a very good boxer. He got very good boxing, good volume, good power in his hands, as of late especially. He does have decent wrestling and grappling if he wants to use it, but mainly he's going to keep it on the feet. His takedown defense is decent. He does have a pretty decent get-up game. He's always safe when he's on his back and if he gets taken down. But sometimes he can get taken down a little too easily, but mainly against like really good grapplers and wrestlers. But he's durable and good cardio. Fili taking this fight on short notice. He's a well-rounded fighter, actually. He's got good technical striking. He can mix in some wrestling if need be. Pretty decent takedowns. He can be a little hittable on the feet, but he's always dangerous, as you saw in his last fight against, who was it? Lucas Almeida. He was able to land the knockout against him. So I think Dan Ige wins this fight. I like Andre Fili a lot as a fighter. I think he's really good. He's really fun to watch, but I'm going to go with the more technical. Yeah, I think he's the more technical striker here. I think he's going to be able to touch up Fili a little bit more. Fili's going to have to mix in some takedowns, I think. And I just don't think he's going to be able to do enough to win the fight. I'm going to say this fight does go to decision, though. But I'm going to go with Dan Ige to win a very close fight. Not very close. A closer fight. 29-28 close fight. So, sorry, guys. My nose is like super itchy today. Yeah, I think he gets this done by decision. Next one, main event, Jack Hermansson versus Joe Pyfer. Very good fight. Interesting fight as well. Hermansson, very well-rounded guy. He's known for his wrestling and grappling, but he's developed good striking over the last few years. Good cardio. He's durable. He's tough. He's going to stick it out as long as he can. If he's losing the fight, he's not going to just fold or anything like that. He doesn't really get finished too often, but he does get cracked a lot in this fight, so we got to watch that. But Joe Pyfer, very, very dangerous striker. He's got crazy power in his hands. He can wrestle, good takedowns. But the thing about Joe Pyfer that I'm a little worried about is the cardio. This is 5 rounds. Most of his fights haven't gone, super long into the fights, first or second rounds. So this is what I'm dealing with here. I'm going with Joe Pyfer here. I just, again, more dangerous, I believe. I don't fully trust Jack Hermansson's striking defense. What I do trust for Jack, though, is his cardio. The longer the fight goes, the more I think Jack will probably win, but I don't think it's going to last that long. Or not. I don't think this fight's going to get into the 4th round. Let's put it that way. So if that's the case, give me Joe Pyfer to win. I'm going to say he gets a knockout again. I've seen Jack get rocked too many times, but Joe Pyfer has the power to where if Jack Hermansson got rocked in a fight, Joe Pyfer's punch would probably knock him out to the point where he'll finish up on the ground or maybe even out cold. So give me Joe Pyfer to win, and I'm going to say by knockout. I'll say early 2nd round knockout. But all right, guys, that is it for the fights. UFC Vegas 86. So definitely appreciate everybody for watching. Please don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. Leave some comments below on your favorite fights this week. Definitely helps out the video as well. Tuesday night live show is going to be on my video or my channel, and Friday night our live show will be on Cody's channel with a couple special guests. So definitely want to check those out. Hit the notifications. Also check out the Patreon. See if you want to join. If not, no big deal. Yeah, I think that's all I got for you guys. Till next time, happy fighting.